Again, Birdman was on Clubhouse. So Birdman was on Clubhouse and he confirmed that Bad Bunny is signed to OVO. Okay? I'll just play his words. These ain't mine. This is the words of Birdman. Okay. It's kind of interesting. That is pretty interesting. Now, what do I think? Do I think Birdman is telling the truth? Well, first and foremost, I don't think Birdman is known to be a liar. However, let's be clear on Bad Bunny's situation. Bad Bunny's in one of the best contracts from what I've heard in the entire music industry. I've heard from many executives far and wide. And by the way, I'm not saying this to go against what Birdman says, because Birdman is also one of the best executives that's ever lived. To me, he's the Phil Jackson of executives and label owners, especially ones that come from the culture. But here are some facts. Bad Bunny is signed to Remis Entertainment, which is actually owned by, I forgot the name of the dude. However, the deal he has with them is a profit share deal, and also one that he owns his shit. So when that company later gets into bigger deals with other companies to release his album, those albums are still going to be owned by Bad Bunny at the end of the day, or are going to be returned to him. And also, it's more of a distribution deal, not a 360, which for the most part, the majority of huge rappers or huge artists in the US historically have been in 360s. He's not in a 360, and percentage-wise, he's not in a royalty deal. He actually gets the biggest percentage of a profit share than pretty much every rapper in the game. Okay? He's not the guy, say Drake gets a $500, $600 million deal. You won't hear Bad Bunny getting that deal because he gets more off of every record sold. So again, a lot of times when you hear people getting these big deals, they're taking the huge advance or huge lump sums up front. And, obviously, like people like Drake, he's going to recoup in the third. But people like Bad Bunny, he might just do 2 albums for $50 million. But here's the thing. He's going to make $150 million off of those 2 albums when everything is said and done, because he's just a fucking huge artist. So in reality, he's in the best deal. Now, is he signed to OVO? From what I know, no. From what I know. Now, Birdman is saying opposite. I'm not going to call Birdman a liar. But from what I know, no. Now, the last time they collabed, other than this new track that's on Drake's project, was the MIA track. Now, I'm going to pull up this real quick that you guys can see it. Here we go with this. So if you go to Bad Bunny, and by the way, label information usually is under here or Apple Music when you look at songs or whatever. Like, for example, he released the latest single. You're going to see 2023 Remis Entertainment LLC. That's the label he signed to, which pretty much he has a distribution deal through them. They then partner with American labels to get his songs even bigger and also do all the American, marketing, blah, 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 blah. But his deal initially is a distribution deal. From what I've heard, when Remis goes to a U.S. label, let's say Republic, let's say anything under the Universal Music Group system, they ask flat out for a 90-10, which means 90% of the profits goes to Remis. I don't know how they cut it with them and Bad Bunny, which I still think he gets at least 70%, right? But 90% goes to Remis and 10% would go to Universal. That's what I've heard. They've done a bunch of stuff through the Orchard, which is like it's a outlet that you could distribute music through. Yeah. Okay, like for example this. Okay. Oh my God. Can I see the fucking article? They're gonna hate. Yeah. So you guys can't see it. Sorry. So what the labels have been trying to do is just flat out buy or invest in the article, no, invest in Remis because they have their Bad Bunny's distributor. So it says, like, for this article, it says Sony's reportedly in talks to buy a stake in Bad Bunny's label and management firm, Remis. Because again, this is a rare situation. By the way, it's the same situation with Central C, except Central C is doing it different. Central C is he's trying to sign a deal where they only control his rights in North America. So when he drops music in London, and he's a London or UK artist, that's another label. But when the music comes across the United States, he'll work with a Atlantic or a Def Jam or whatever, and they only monitor his rights for in the United States, right? Which is obviously going to help him because now they're incentivized to get him on all these Billboard charts that we all report. But his overseas money, he's getting it different, and they don't control those rights. You get what I mean? You gotta remember, Bad Bunny is like a bunch of, like, lucrative artists that come out of that, that Puerto Rican like system, like Ozuna, who else, Arcangel, Anuel, all those people. But for the most part, they're not signed directly to these labels, so that's why you see like Sony trying to buy like a 60% stake of his company, because Bad Bunny is, for all intents and purposes, printing money. Like, he's printing money. So because when he makes supposedly $100 million in profit, they're only getting 10. Like, they want more of the action, but they can't pay him enough. They would have to give him a Drake-esque deal for him to go under that, but he's not starving for money. He's making a shit ton of money, not only on that, and because he's not in the 360, he's doing stadiums. Remember I brought up before when we were looking at his tour? They're pulling down anywhere between $11 to $60 million in revenue per every show he did on his last tour. $11 to $60 million in revenue, and from what I'm hearing, his take home is at least $7 every night. So he's taking home $7 million every night. He doesn't have no big touring deal. He's like, they have so much leverage in the game that if they ever partner with anyone, they're getting most of the money, right? So if you're in these favorable partnerships, they would have to give you a whole lot of money. Like, obviously, to the tune of what Drake got, $500 to $600 million, for you to be like, oh, just give me that up front, and then I don't care about like whatever. But yeah, he's a really favorable deal. So this is why this OVO shit's a little confusing. Anyway, I bring up that to actually bring up this. I'm not sure if what Birdman was saying was a confusion with, go to Drake, and actually let's go to their song before this, Drake MIA. And even though this was in the beginning stages of Bad Bunny, maybe to U.S. listeners, it was an introduction, right? By the way, it's a song with over 1.2 billion plays on Spotify. And if you look at the label, you're going to see OVO sound. So Drake signed an amazing deal, and as he's gained leverage into the game, now every project, and you can see even For All the Dogs, is going to be dropped on his label, partially because Drake owns some of his masters. Now, he owns a sizable portion of his masters, and the way he owns it now is through negotiation. You get what I mean? Remember, and not every artist has that leverage. For example, NBA YoungBoy, he tried to take less money from Atlantic as long as he could get some of the masters back for his old projects, and they flat out said, fuck no. That's one of the reasons why he walked. But if you look at For All the Dogs, you're going to see down here, 2023 OVO under license to Republic, a division of UMG. Okay, you don't even see Cash Money. Now, apparently Birdman still is involved somehow, but his imprint name won't be on the label notes anymore, right? Okay, so why did I say that? I say that because I don't think Birdman's a liar, right? I know with pretty much confidence that Bad Bunny ain't signed to OVO, but here's the thing. if you look at the majority of songs dropped with Drake in the last decade, because Drake has been such a huge artist in the game, and this was how it was famously told to me, Drake could only clear. So this is how it was told to me. And this is not, again, I don't know if it still exists for Bad Bunny, but this is how it was going on. Go back to like days he's doing shit for Fetty Wap and shit like that. Drake could clear a certain amount of songs per year, right? Why? If Drake does 1 million songs as features, he's diluting the product. So contractually, he could do whatever. By the way, he signed to bigger labels. At least at those times, Cash Money was one of the bigger labels, right? Then Universal. Now, Drake would charge whatever for a feature. So you would have an artist fee for if you're getting Drake on a song. If he jumps on, he probably wouldn't charge you at all because he would pick you. So he jumps on your song. Like he jumps on Fetty Wap's song. He's doing it for free because he jumped on the song. But now your label has to clear the song. Now, when your label hit up Birdman to say, yo, we're trying to clear the song, Drake just jumped on it, they're going to be like, okay, that's cool. But we need like $400,000 or we need $500,000. So there is always a charge to clear the records with Drake. Now, remember, Drake went on this crazy stimulus package run where he's doing mad features. Now, of course, people are happy it's a Drake song, right? A Drake feature, but Drake's label is taxing. The way Drake got around it, and I heard that's one of the reasons why even the what's that nigga name? Going up on a Tuesday, whatever. It was written, again, I don't know his current contract, but it was written in his old contracts that if Drake released a song with another artist under OVO, his label doesn't have to clear it, and there will be no clearance fee, right? Because they're thinking if Drake is trying to put his artist on and he releases like this. Anyway, it's a hack. So what ends up happening, you're going to see most of Drake's features have OVO on it. And it's basically, from what I hear on a business level, the way to get around paying like damn near $500,000 to Birdman, because you will not get a song out normally if Cash Money has to sign off on it if Birdman don't get paid. So if it comes out of OVO, it's seen as it's under Drake's label, but you don't get hit with the fee, right? So that's what I've always been told. I don't know what the situation is now. I'm pretty sure it's pretty different. But I suspect, and this is a theory, I suspect, and by the way, I heard the number of songs that Drake could have done it for was like 4, either 4 or 6. You know, so in his contract it says, hey, listen, if you drop whatever song under like 6, so up to 6 songs per year, you could put it through OVO Records and there won't be a clearance, blah, 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 blah. And that's how like all these niggas who are getting features who probably labels can't afford them would get those songs out. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe this existed back in 2018. And to further explain this, and I'm not confusing myself, but I'm hoping I'm not confusing y'all. I don't know if Birdman's alluding to this. So the way how these deals were done, you basically do a deal with OVO Sound, right? OVO Sound Records to release the song, but it's almost like you signed to the label for a one single deal. Does that make sense? So that's how he was getting it out. Oh, all right, you signed a one single deal that's coming through the label, wink, wink. You don't have to pay nothing, right? I'm the feature. I'm Drake. Everything goes past Cash Money. So theoretically, if I'm right, maybe that's why Birdman is saying this, that Bad Bunny puts this song through OVO, and the agreement they sign is a one single deal through OVO. Now, it's like that album, Un Verano Sin Ti, which is his huge album, is not on OVO. So there's no way that should, you know what I mean? You could look. No. It's Un Verano Sin Ti. Here we go. right here. If you look at this album, you'll just only see Remis. There's no OVO. Okay? There's no OVO. And again, maybe Birdman is saying he signed to Drake because they did that deal for that one song, but it doesn't mean he signed to him continuing. Now, granted, Birdman has a way with words. Birdman still says Drake is signed to him, even though by the press release and by the agreement that Universal made to settle his beef with Lil Wayne, it was said that Birdman and Cash Money has nothing to do with Lil Wayne anymore, Drake anymore, Nicki anymore, and their contracts roll into Republic. So Nicki doesn't drop on Cash Money anymore. Drake doesn't drop on Cash Money. Universal did a favor by saying, we're going to pay your debt, Birdman, but we're taking your artists, right? You keep your label, but we're taking your artists. Whatever you owned of the catalog, you still keep. But because you have these outstanding contracts with these huge artists, Nicki owed a couple albums, Drake owed a couple albums. All right, cool. We inherit those, okay? And we'll pay you $51 million or whatever to Wayne. Do you get what I mean? However, Birdman still says they're signed to me. You do not see Cash Money on any of these. You don't see Cash Money nor Young Money. By the way, the majority of Young Money is owned by Birdman. You don't see Cash Money or Young Money on any Drake release since that agreement. So if you go back, you go to Drake. We could go to look on Take Care. Take Care. It says Cash Money Records. You see? That's 2012 or 2011, right? More Life, he's still there. Cash Money Records, right? And what happened is in between then and Scorpion, I think that's when the change happens. Oh, it still says Young Money, Cash Money. So I guess it's after Scorpion. What happened after Scorpion? Dark Lane Demo? I think it was Dark Lane Demo, right? Dark Lane Demo. Yes, now we start seeing, 2020 we start seeing OVO under license to Republic. So you stop seeing Cash Money. And it's going to be that going forward. And from what I'm hearing is Drake also, he's in constant renegotiations. Half of his, let me not speak specifically on percentages of his masters, but there's a percent of his masters that is owned by his label and a percentage owned by Republic. And obviously because he has so much leverage, as time goes on, he could be in the position of saying, I'm not dropping or signing another deal with y'all unless I have all my fucking, I own whatever. But I hear they sweeten the pot with just a shit ton of money. Like $600 million is, you know what I mean? Like, give me $600 million, I'll buy that shit back later. Give me the $600 million right now. You get what I mean? So that's what it is. Okay, so that's my theory. I could be wrong, but Birdman says he's signed